Proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, deception is the greatest betrayal of all. This holds true in today's case brought forth today on behalf of Tony Shapiro versus BIG, Blackstone Insurance Group. In today's case, we have learned that the deception on the part of BIG has proven to be fatal for Tony Shapiro's business and for his lifestyle. On the deception that we see from the Blackstone Insurance Group holds true in that they deny every single claim ever brought to them. Through the testimony of the plaintiff witnesses brought to you today and the defense witnesses brought to you by Blackstone Insurance Group, you, the jury, have seen that Blackstone Insurance Group denies every claim that they possibly can. Through the cross-examination of Drew Emanuel, you learned of a previous case, that of a skydiver who jumped out of a plane and unfortunately fell to his death. Blackstone Insurance Group denied the claim, saying that it was not an accidental death. Now, in a case that is so clear as that one, we can see that Blackstone Insurance Group has a bias. The very basis of their business is derived on the fact that they must deny claims to have a profit. Their profit comes from the fact that they never pay out on these claims. Now, the policy that was bought by Tony Shapiro was purchased by Tony Shapiro in the trust that one day, if he needed to get that insurance money, if something happened to his business, that he would be able to get that $2 million that he had been paying monthly payments to before. Now, the point of an insurance payment is this. You make your payment every month, and you trust that if something happens, you will be able to get that money back and rebuild your business or pay for the losses that you have incurred. Unfortunately, Tony Shapiro has realized the deception brought on to him by BIG. First of all, the first thing that we will look to at the end of today's trial is that Drew Emanuel himself has proven that he wanted to pay the claims. Through the direct and the cross-examination of Drew Emanuel, we learned that initially he approved the claim to be paid to Tony Shapiro. Only when his superiors refused to pay the claim did he rethink it, as he did in previous claims before that. This is a case of someone changing their mind over and over again and choosing in the best interests of the company rather than the best interest of Tony Shapiro. Next, we see through the testimony and the cross-examination of Alex Paddington and through his letter to BIG that she would like to deny every single claim in an effort to keep her business with BIG. 75% of her annual income comes from Blackstone Insurance Group. And for her business to continue to thrive and to continue to be successful, she must make sure that she always testifies on the side of BIG. Again, we see this deception showing through. And finally, through the testimony of Shannon Sanchez on behalf of the defense, we see that on behalf of the plaintiff, we do in fact see that Tony Shapiro was in shock on the night. He would have been unable to set fire to his own restaurant. After the fire had happened and after the fire had engulfed his restaurant, he was in shock from this. He did not expect for his restaurant to be burned down, and he did not expect for the deception from BIG to result in his insurance claim being denied. However, what we next see is that this deception holds true through the contradicting testimonies of Pat McCaffrey and Alex Paddington. On behalf of the defense, Alex Paddington, with only 15 years' experience, attempts to come up here and convince you, the jury, that he disagrees with everything that Pat McCaffrey, a man who has 30 years' experience, has said. Pat McCaffrey came to the conclusion that this was an arson set by a burglar rather than by Tony Shapiro. Alex Paddington agrees that there were two origins of the fire, the bar and the dining room. He agrees that the accelerant used was alcohol. And finally, he also agrees with Pat McCaffrey that it was an open flame that started this fire. All three of these things are consistent with Tony Shapiro's story in today's trial. Tony Shapiro stated the truth. He could see through the deception, and that is why he brought this claim on BIG. Now you, the jury, have to see through the deception brought by BIG and to hold BIG accountable for the claim and for the the insurance that they brought forth with Tony Shapiro.